Good evening, and thank you for joining us for our community conversation tonight on our virtual learning updates and pathways for grades 6 to 12. We'll begin here in about 5 minutes at 5:30. Well, good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to our community conversation. Tonight's focus is on the virtual learning pathways and programs for our students in grades 6 to 12. So following our typical format, we've got some slides to share with you tonight, give you some updates on what's going on, give a little context to the emails, answer some frequently asked questions, and then we will open it up to your questions. And Dan and Aaron are here with me again to help out with that process at the end. So as a reminder, the live stream tonight is being recorded. It's going to be on our SCS TV website. And I'll also send out the presentation tomorrow so everybody can have access to the slides. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you've got kids in the elementary level, or you've heard or seen some of our communications, we recently launched and started a new program at our elementary level called SCS Connects. And really, this is based on the foundation of the feedback we got from our parents when we did the focus groups a few months ago. And we heard over and over from our youngest learners to our older learners that we need that connection. We need that connection with our teachers, with our buildings, with our school district, with our peers. And so, that's where we came up with SCS Connects. And although it looks a little different between elementary and secondary, the concept is still the same, is that we want to provide all of our students and our students that are not able to physically be in the buildings for a variety of reasons, the opportunities to receive a high quality education, build those strong relationships with their peers and with their teachers, no matter where they're located, if they're located at school or if they're located at home. So that's what this program is all about at 6 to 12, is building those connections. And so let's talk a little bit more about what SCS Connects is. And don't worry, if you're in one of our asynchronous programs, Edmentum, Edgenuity, or Apex, we'll talk about the pathways for those programs as well. So SCS Connects, it really is a simple concept. And that concept is that if I'm a middle school or high school student, I am going to have the opportunity to enroll in this new program called SCS Connects, starting in the second semester, which starts January 4th. So if you're in an asynchronous virtual program or in remote learning 2.0 right now, that's going to go through the end of winter break, so December 17th. But we're talking about what opportunities are there starting on January 4th after winter break. So here's the really cool thing about this. This is just like if you were able to attend in-person school. So if you're a middle school and high school student, you are going to be given a high school or middle school schedule. So again, at the beginning of the year, even before you decided what pathway you were wanting to go, your child had a schedule. First period was science, second period was band, whatever it may be. That's similar schedule is going to be provided for your child at home. So for all of our secondary students right now, you're on an asynchronous program, one of the ones I just mentioned. And you have a lot of flexibility as to maybe on Mondays, I'm going to do math all Monday. And maybe, I work better from 2 in the afternoon to 6 at night. Well, with SCS Connects, one of the things we have to keep in mind is you are following a traditional schedule. So at the middle school, you're going from roughly 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the high school level, you're going from roughly 7:30 to 2:30 p.m. So some of that flexibility is gone, but you get our Strongsville High School and middle school classes. You get our Strongsville High School and middle school teachers, our curriculum from home. So again, if you enroll in SCS Connects, you will get a schedule. You'll get a traditional school schedule based on your grade level, based on the course selections that you made, if those courses are being offered and available. And then you'll be assigned to those classes, and you will be assigned to Strongsville City Schools teachers. And so the benefit is you're going to receive that same high quality instruction at home as you would in school, but there's two pathways to receive that. At the secondary level, some of the classes have different nuances. So predominantly that's going to be through a live streamed experience. So you will be at home, you will log on to a Google Meet. If you're in remote learning 2.0, it's very similar to that. You will log on to a Google Meet, you will see your teacher, you'll see his or her board shared or class discussion, whatever it may be, and you'll be able to live stream for that direct instruction part of the lesson. As the lesson goes on, the teacher may put you in breakout rooms, the teacher may pair you up with in-person learners or other virtual learners, or the teacher may say, hey, hang on for a little bit, I'll be back with you in 10 or 15 minutes to have discussion, answer questions you may have. But if you were in blended learning, you had a similar experience. If you're in remote learning, you had a similar experience. If you're in one of our asynchronous programs now, you just have to conceptualize that my child will log in at first period, they'll get their attendance taken, and they will join a virtual Google Meet, and they'll be able to see their teacher and their classmates and take part in instruction from home. Now, some of our classes don't transfer well to live stream. They're very hands-on based or class discussion, and all of our classrooms in the middle school and high school are not wired for great sound for digital learning. So there may be opportunities where the class content just works better with high quality digital content. And that digital content may be similar to what you're experiencing now in your asynchronous programs through independent research, work, reading, resources, high quality teacher created videos that are going to help guide you with additional opportunities for discussion and questions at a later time. So that's really the SCS Connects program in a nutshell. Our teachers, our buildings, our schedule, our curriculum, and a combination of live streamed instruction and or high quality digital content. So what are the benefits? Again, one of the things I said, if you're looking for flexibility and ability to adapt your schedule to your own family needs or your own personal needs, the asynchronous program is probably the best bet for you. But if you're looking for more structure, a traditional school schedule, contact with our curriculum and teachers and resources, then I think SCS Connects is the opportunity that you would like to explore, again, because you're learning from our teachers, you're using our curriculum, you're using our resources. As we talked about earlier, it's enhanced and increased live instruction, high quality digital content with feedback and opportunities for discussion and engagement. That's what we heard from our secondary families. You know, that opportunity to ask questions, to dig a little deeper, to collaborate with their teachers, and to get that live component, that was a benefit to our secondary learners, and that will be a part of the SCS Connects program daily. And then finally, you know, we understand that, you know, some of you may choose that, hey, this was the option for me first semester. It may still be the option for me second semester. Or, you know, cases are on the rise in our county and our state. And second semester, I'd rather just have my learner at home. This provides consistency. So when they come back, whether it's at the beginning of next year or at another time, that they have consistency in our curriculum, our resources, our expectations, and gives the flexibility where students don't have to so much pick and choose. You know, one of the challenges we had in the fall is students had a very specific schedule that they wanted to have as a part of their coursework, and sometimes those classes weren't offered in the virtual platforms that we had purchased for the district. So this will give you an opportunity to almost have the entire course catalog at our schools available. There'll be some exceptions, but again, our standards, our expectations, our support. And so that should have for a seamless transition as students return to school. So what are the next steps? Now, these next steps are not just about the SCS Connects program, but next steps for everyone. And I've said this a lot via email, but I want to emphasize it again. You know, we try to be flexible and understanding, but this is a firm deadline. We've sent out a survey now for 2 weeks. So we've sent it out 2 or 3 times to folks. But on December 2nd by 8 a.m., you need to complete the enrollment survey and you need to complete the transportation opt-in survey if applicable. What I mean if applicable is if you live on a busing street and it's linked to the survey and this is for students that were virtual that are now planning to return to in-person learning. You would want to complete that survey and let us know that you plan on using our busing services so we can have that ready to go January 4th. Again, as I've said in email on numerous occasions, you would complete this survey if you're a virtual learner and you want to come back to in-person. You would complete this survey if you're a virtual learner and you want to continue in a virtual learning platform. And you would complete this survey if you're an in-person learner and you want to move to a virtual platform. The only group of folks that do not complete this survey is if you're an in-person learner and you want to stay an in-person learner, blended learner, you know, for the second semester, then you don't need to fill it out. And if you did by accident, that's okay. We will clear that data out, but those are the folks that need to complete this survey. So that's going to be closed off at 8 a.m. I will go in there and I will close off the survey, and we will not be accepting any more changes after that point. If your child is in a virtual learning program now and you didn't complete the survey, we will the district will make the decision as to the virtual program that he or she will be in for the second semester. The reason we are doing that is because we need the next 2.5 weeks to plan and get everything ready. So on January 4th, there's no delays, there's no hiccups, we are ready to go. So December 13th to 18th, our staff is going to be working. We're going to be developing schedules for those that are entering SCS Connects. We're going to be developing schedules for those that are returning to in-person. And we're going to be enrolling students in our asynchronous Edmentum, Edgenuity, Apex programs for those courses that they need to take for the second semester. So it's a lot of work that we need to get done, and we need every single day of that 2.5 weeks. So that's why we need that firm deadline for the enrollment survey. But what we will give you is, if you completed the survey and we give you your placement, there is a withdrawal window. So if you change your mind, you have all the way to December 18th to change your mind for any of the pathways that you select. The reason we picked December 18th is because if you're taking part in our asynchronous program, there's a financial component to that. And once your student starts and is enrolled, we are financially committed to that after a certain period of time. So it's important that we know and are not taking on that financial burden as a district if your child doesn't intend to participate. And also, we need to balance our classes. We need to get kids enrolled. We need to make sure they're in the classes that they need to be, whether through SCS Connects or in person. We go on winter break, and our staff that is key in doing this work is not available during that time. So if we need any schedule adjustments without disruption, we need to know before December 18th. And then on January 4th, this is when everything gets implemented. So applicable students, you'll start the asynchronous program, or you'll start SCS Connects, or a combination, or you will return to in-person learning. And so just as an FYI, as you can see the note in the green box at the bottom, if you are in a virtual learning program or course enrollment, one of the things we offered in last semester was students that were in middle school or high school honors classes, high school AP courses, or select performance-based classes like orchestra or band. We gave you the option to still do the asynchronous program and come in for those classes in person, or we gave you the option to participate asynchronously. You'll still have that option. We're not going to take away any options this school year, but you'll still have those options, and we'll communicate everything that you need to know by December 18th. And for those students that are enrolling in SCS Connects or in-person learning, you'll have that by December 18th as well. Now, the exciting part about this is we're building for the future. So it's not just, okay, how can we enhance what we used to call solo and enhance that for the rest of the year? This is about how can we develop a long-term virtual program, because as a district, we don't feel that starting next year that there's not going to be a need for this. As long as there's a need, we'll provide it. So SCS Connects is our long-term virtual programming that we're going to learn from this year to see how it works, make improvements as necessary, but continue on to support the needs of our students that may continue to want to receive their education at home in the upcoming school year. So let's take a look at the pathways when you take the survey. So when you click on that link that I sent in the emails about the survey, and you do some of the demographic questions of email, name, building, grade, etc., it's going to ask you a series of questions. So if you are a person or a parent that has kids currently in Edgenuity, Edmentum, or Apex, you need to complete that survey by 8 a.m. on Wednesday, December 2nd. What it's going to ask you is 3 questions. Do you want to remain in the virtual programming for the second semester? So again, you can, whatever you're in, Edgenuity, Edmentum, or Apex, you can continue with that. You can continue with the combination that we talked about, and we know students that are taking part in that already. But you can continue on that if you want that flexibility in your schedule, and the complete asynchronous program is working for you. So if you select that, you will remain in that for the rest of the school year for the entire second semester, unless you withdraw from the program no later than December 18th. You have the option to enroll in the SCS Connects program for the second semester. Again, if you enroll in the SCS Connects program, it is for the entire second semester, and we talked about that already. Secondary, your SMS or SHS schedule. Our teachers, you're just attending virtually via live stream or digital content. Or you have the option to return to in-person learning for the second semester. Again, if you decide that you want to go for in-person learning, you are going to be an in-person learner for the rest of the second semester. One of the things we need to improve upon in our work as a district is being flexible and understanding of unique situations. But the students moving back and forth from a variety of programs is not best for the educational continuity of our students and their success throughout what is already a challenging year. So all of these decisions you're making for the second semester, And if we go past that December 18th withdrawal window, that will be the choice that they'll be in for the remainder of the second semester. Again, this will be communicated in any scenario no later than December 18th. The other option is if you're currently an in-person learner. If you're an in-person learner, again, we have it on there just because people sometimes complete the survey when they don't have to. You don't have to complete the survey, but it'll give you the option to remain as an in-person learner for the second semester. You can enroll, if you're currently an in-person learner, you can enroll in Edmentum. I've mentioned Edgenuity and Apex throughout. Both of those programs are capped. They're purchase programs. Edmentum is a program that we purchase more license for. We own a portion of the program. So you do have that option if you just want that flexible asynchronous option, and the course catalog we have available meet your needs. That's an option, and that's an option for the entire second semester. And then again, if you want our teachers, our curriculum, our schedule, you could have the option to enroll in SCS Connects for the second semester. Just like our current virtual learners, you are making a decision for the entire second semester unless you withdraw by December 18th. And again, we will share everything with you before we take a break for winter break on your courses and your login information and pathway. So let's take a look at a few frequently asked questions that we have. First of all, what is that enrollment requirement? I feel like a broken record, but again, just to be clear, you must complete the survey by 8 a.m. on December 2nd. You're required to remain in that programming for the rest of the year unless you withdraw no later than December 18th. In the note, what it's talking about is if you do withdraw by December 18th, you can go in SCS Connects or you could go to in-person learning. So if you withdraw, our folks that oversee the program, they'll reach out to you and talk about what option you would like to pursue. Again, whatever option you select, choice B is the option for the rest of the school year. So SCS Connects, same enrollment requirements. You're in it. If you select that option, you're in it for the remainder of the school year, unless we receive your request to withdraw. If we receive your request to withdraw, you will either go back to your prior virtual program if you were an Edmentum, Edgenuity, Apex user, or you will go back to in-person learning. If you were not an Apex, Edgenuity, or Edmentum user, you don't have the opportunity to go back there except for Edmentum. But those were the pathways. Again, we'll communicate with you and clarify your choice. But once that choice B is made, that is it for the rest of the year. So for SCS Connects, what do we do with remote learning? Now, I didn't have a slide on this for our asynchronous programs because when we go to remote learning like we're in right now, there's no different. You just keep on going with your coursework. It really doesn't even impact you in terms of how the district is operating. But SCS Connects, it will impact you, but it's much differently than it would in the past because nothing is really going to change for you. All you're going to notice is that instead of seeing maybe 20 of my classmates in school and 5 of us on the Google Meet, you're going to see all 25 of you on the Google Meet, and you will be a part of the class in Remote Learning 2.0. So for our in-person learners, it'll be a little bit different, but for our students in SCS Connects, it'll be no different. The course schedule will be the same predominantly. The timing of the courses will be the same. The teachers will be the same. It's just you're going to have more peers with you on the Google Meet than you do on a typical school day when we're running an in-person or blended structure. And then just schedule or screen time, right? So this is an important thing to think about, because it is structured on a typical student day. So you should plan on about 30 minutes of screen time per class period for our secondary students. It could be a little more, depending on where we're at in the instructional cycle with our teachers. There may be a day that requires a little more live instruction or in-person instruction for our students. On some days, if you remember, you talk to your students and you say, well, tell me a little bit about what happened in school today. They may say, hey, in this class, it was a work day. The teacher was there as a coach, as a guide, as discussion, but we were working together in groups. And what we do now is we have breakout rooms. So if you've been on Google Meets or Zoom calls, there's breakout rooms. So we have virtual group meetings or discussions. So there may be days where it's, 5-10 minutes just to check in, attendance, see how everybody's doing. And the teacher may say, hey, everyone, I'm here. If you have questions, I'm going to be online with you the rest of the class period. But you can close your screen, you can shut off your camera, you can work a little bit for the rest of the class period. So again, ballpark about 30 minutes a class period. If that sounds good, then SCS Connects is something for an opportunity for you. If that sounds like, wow, that seems like a lot, I'm not sure if I want all that screen time for my child, then in-person learning or the asynchronous options would probably be a better bet. And then finally, for our in-person learners, the virtual enrollment options that you have is either to go to Edmentum or SCS Connects. So those are the options. The only options that you have is current in-person learners. And again, the timelines we discussed already in terms of the survey and the withdrawal period if you change your mind before that December 18th window. So again, just to kind of a brief overview, sometimes it's better to hear it than to have to read it and get a little bit more into the details than we can in an email. But that's an overview of the pathways that we have available for our virtual learners. Again, all of these pathways start on January 4th, and they are initiated by your response to the survey we sent out. We're at about a 50% completion rate about where we need to go. So don't forget, you have the next day and a half or so to complete that by December 2nd at 8 a.m. So at this time, I'm going to welcome Erin to the screen to share any questions that may have been submitted by our listeners.
Great, thank you. We have just a few for you. If students opt into this SCS Connects, will they keep the same teachers they have now, or specifically at the middle school, the same teams or pods?
So that's a great question. So if you are currently an in-person learner, yes. If you're currently an in-person learner, the only difference you will notice is that you're going to be at home and you're going to be live streaming or participating through high quality digital content, videos, Google Classroom, etc. If you started out with us in remote and then went virtual, you may not necessarily be on the same team, or you may not necessarily be with the same teachers. So that's one thing to keep in mind. What we have to do is, because of class sizes and balancing as students have gone virtual or come back in the past, that may be a change. So if you were on one of the 7th grade teams at the beginning of the year, when you come back for SCS Connects, that may not be the same team. But if you're currently in in-person learning, absolutely, you will have the same schedule, same teachers, same team at the middle school, and same teachers at the secondary level. It's just for our students that are currently in virtual learning. If you may have started with us earlier in the year, we cannot guarantee the same schedule, courses, teachers, or team.
All right. Can students at the high school still be able to play sports if they're in the SCS Connects?
Yeah, so that is still an opportunity. You are still a student in our school district. You're just accessing your curriculum in a different way. The grade point averages, the attendance requirements that go with sports, all of the requirements with sports hold true, but you would be able to be a part of any of our virtual programs and still compete in sports. And the same is true for other extracurricular activities, clubs that you may want to be a part of. The only possible exception is some of our co-curricular opportunities that require you to be in class. And so we ask that you reach out to the building principals or directors of those groups to see if that would work out. But typically we've been able to make that work throughout the school year.
Okay, I'm not sure you know this yet, but
Okay.
if we're in SCS Connects at the middle school level specifically, and we're doing band, will those courses be graded? Because currently, you can live stream in, but they're not for a grade. Do you know if they will be graded?
Yeah, so I will follow up on this. It was my belief that these courses were graded. If they may not be, if they were just live streaming in for experience purposes. But if you are a part of the SCS Connects program, all of these courses will be graded that you are a part of. We'll talk through those nuances. We've got some, if we have students that are doing the combination of the asynchronous program and the performance-based courses, we'll circle back and get a clear answer on that one. But if you're in SCS Connects, whatever course you are in, that will be graded however the course would have been graded if you were in person.
All right. Do we anticipate having the Edmentum program next school year, 21-22 school year?
So we've had the Edmentum program, Erin, oh, she just left, but we've had the Edmentum program for a handful of years now. So that's not something we are looking to not have. What we will take a look at is, with our offerings next year, how much utilization or need do we have for Apex? How much utilization or need do we have for Edgenuity? But Edmentum is something that we have and is a part of our district and is not, at least based on where we're at right now, there's no inkling that we are going to remove it or go away from it in the near future.
Okay, 2 more questions for you. You did touch on this, but can you hit it again? In SCS Connects, can students have their honors courses?
Yes, so in SCS Connects, whatever courses that you are eligible to participate in, whatever courses were on your in-person schedule, all those courses will be available in SCS Connects. When I talked about there may not be some courses that are available, there's some courses that we have that are just extremely difficult to transfer in a complete virtual format 5 days a week. And so, these are some of our very niche courses, like Metal Shop is a great example. If you are never going to step foot in our school building, it's really difficult to take Metal Shop. And so that's a course that we may say, that's not available in SCS Connects. But in terms of honors, AP courses, yes, those will be available and students can enroll in them. I mean, that's what we're excited about because some of those honors or AP's courses didn't transfer seamlessly to our asynchronous program, and now this will alleviate that issue.
Okay, last question for you. And this may not be something that is under your purview at this point, but looking at being an in-person learner, do you anticipate more continuity in staying in one mode of learning longer than just a couple weeks and then flip-flopping to a different model?
So that, yes, right now, the way it's structured is that when we're in the different risk levels, COVID risk levels based on the county, different folks make decisions. I make the decisions for yellow, orange, and purple. The board makes the decisions for red. But speaking on behalf of the board, it's always our intent, and me, it's always our intent for continuity. It's always our intent for keeping students in a learning framework that best meets their needs, academic needs, social emotional needs, and the health and safety needs of everyone. It does become challenging in terms of how quickly things change, as we've all experienced here in the last month with the pandemic. But it's always our goal to stay in a learning framework for an extended period of time to give that. We all need structure. We all need continuity for our families, for our students, and for our staff. So that is our goal. And I know that's the goal of the board, and that's the goal of me as we make these decisions.
Okay, that is it for questions.
All right. Thank you, Erin, for helping. And thank you for everybody that tuned in tonight. Again, please make sure, check the website. If you're not getting my emails for some reason, we post them on the website. If you go to the SCS Responsible Restart page, there's a link there for parent communications and the emails that are there. I know Erin sent out an email specifically to our students in the virtual and families in the virtual program today. They've been in my recent updates. So please make sure to get that survey completed so we can start getting working and make sure everybody has everything that they need before we go on winter break. So as always, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your collaboration and partnership, and I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.